What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Dope Life Podcast, the dopest podcast out there. And I'm, of course, your host, Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach, the dopest life coach out there. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button that you never miss another episode. And if you could be also dope and leave us a rating and a review, we will really appreciate it. So our podcast can reach out to dope individuals just like yourself. So today, we're going to be talking about economics and AI, which is two important, I'd say, topics going into 2025 because people are worrying about their money and their businesses, how we're going to be moving as an entrepreneur, just regular people in our day. And also AI has really become, let's say, it's the go-to for many things that we could do to enhance our life, whether it's a personal or professional journey that we're on. So I have a special guest, someone I've known for quite some time now, over a year. We've met in a program, and it's an absolute honor to have her on the podcast here. So I'm just going to go ahead and read a quick little bio on my special guest. Wami is an AI product manager with a multicultural background blending an African and Middle Eastern heritage. She specializes in developing diverse machine learning models that create value for telecommunications industry with expertise in NLP, Gen AI technologies, serving marketing, operations, finance, and pricing stakeholders. Oof, okay, let's keep going. With an honors degree in economics, business, and French studies, Adewunmi brings a unique perspective to her role, bridging the gap between technical teams and business objectives. Beyond her professional achievements, Wami is the co-founder of Womb Economics, a non-for-profit empowering women in various industries. She also is a community builder known for organizing impactful events through her platform, Berka Inspires. Wami, it is an honor to have you here today. How are you doing?
Yay! Thank you so much. I feel like hearing my bio read out loud. I think it's a bit too long. I need to trim it down. So, yeah.
Nah, keep all that good- no. We're not trimming it. You got to keep all that good stuff in there. You got to keep all that good stuff in there. So, welcome to the Dope Life Podcast.
Thank you. I'm really
This is
excited to be on this, and so great to see you and hear from you again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So let's get right into it. When people think about economics, I don't think people really understand what economics really is. So what inspired you to get into a profession of economics and also a profession of entrepreneurship as well?
Yeah. I think most people, they talk about things in their childhood, and it may sound very cheesy, but that will definitely be my story as well. My dad, my parents, they're both entrepreneurs, and we grew up in the Middle East, in UAE specifically, and I saw the way how my dad was just thriving within that industry, in that space. So I'll
Yeah.
definitely say entrepreneurship has always been a piece of me since I was a child. In terms of economics, I was very fascinated on how I could solve this problem. How can I help economies, people on a global scale? And when I was 15, I did a very extensive search where I literally went to people I was inspired by, like my role models, my mentors, per se,
Yeah.
and I saw what they studied. And majority of them studied economics, business, finance, policy. And to me, I felt one of those degrees would be a good foundation start to the career I wanted to have, and what I thought would be the only way I could have a global impact. I ended up choosing economics. And funny enough, I actually started off in finance. I switched to economics. That's a story for another day. And along the way, I added 2 minors. I did an honors. I graduated. And I found myself now working directly in economics, but applying a lot of the skills I have actually learned in the industry I work in today and also my personal life. So what I'll tell people is that when you're studying something, don't just think narrow-minded. Make sure that you have a bigger mindset, because you don't know where life can take you with your degree, and how this can be a foundational step that you can add on a master's degree. You can add certifications, you can add experience, and make you a much more well-rounded candidate.
Yeah, well said. And you wanted to shrink your bio because of what? You have all of that. You can't shrink your bio. That goes on to say you cannot shrink your bio. I like the fact that you talked about like how the mentors around you were kind of giving you the ways that you could create the life that you, not just helping yourself, but you're giving back to the community, not just within where you were, but worldwide.
Yeah.
And bringing in a collective of, and the cool thing about it, we live in a virtual world now where you can bring in those type of settings and work on that path worldwide, right? We
Yeah.
have the platforms to do it. Now, kind of touching base a little bit on your bio, talk about the AI. What made you say, okay, this is something that I kind of want to segue into as well?
One thing my mentors, my parents have always told me is to continuously innovate, right? continuously be a person that is interested to learn and make sure that you are relevant. At the
Yep.
time, I was part of a graduate rotational program, and
Hmm.
an opportunity came for me to kind of rotate on a completely different team, learn something completely different. I never thought of AI or product management as a career when I was in uni or even as a teenager. And
Hmm.
when the opportunity presented itself, it was interesting for me. And my major priority was, hey, it's literally just for 8 months. If I don't like it, I can go back to what I was used to. I could go back to what I was comfortable in.
Right.
8 months down the line, I realized how much it was fast paced. It was innovative. I was learning a lot more than I thought I would. I started to branch into different aspects of strategy, implementation, risk management, dealing with stakeholders, and also got to understand what developers do, what machine learning engineers do, how they think, how they work, and how to operate, and so on.
Mhm.
So, me finding myself in AI was purely because of an opportunity that presented itself, and I rose up my hand to take it.
Yep.
And purely favor as well, because many times people ask me, did I have a specific degree? Did I have a specific background? I don't have a comp sci background. I don't have that perfect match of an AI background, but my
Yeah.
background was good enough. My willingness to learn, my willingness to take risks was what helped me to be able to get my role. And I've been working in the AI space for almost 5 years now, which has been fun and amazing.
When you talked about your willingness to learn and you're willing to take risks, how has that helped your self improvement and personal development journey?
Every way, every way,
Mhm.
anyway. Oh my, I look back and I ask myself, if I did not do certain things, I wouldn't have met certain people. I
Right.
wouldn't have had some certain opportunities. I might have missed out on things, or opportunities may have come out differently. And a very good example is where we met. It was
Yes.
literally a program that I was like, you know what, let me just apply to it. I don't know if I'll get in. I applied to the day of the deadline. I
Same
had an
thing.
interview. I was really just being myself. And
Yep.
one thing I was concerned about was, oh, it requires time. A lot of opportunities, a lot of great things require time. That's where time management comes in. That's where you ask
Yep.
yourself, why should I dedicate X amount of hours to this thing? What's going to be the return on investment? And for me, it wasn't just the certificate that we're going to get out of the program that we're both part of, but it was the network, it was the mentorship, it was the exposure that was as important to me. And that's why I raised my hand for that. So that's just an example to say that raising my hand for opportunities has done more good than I can think of. And
Hmm.
currently, this past season, as I mentioned to you, I've been doing a bunch of traveling personally that I couldn't attend as much events as I wanted to. I couldn't get involved in so many things. I needed to prioritize. But I felt I was in a good space to decline certain things because I had
Yeah.
said enough yes for the past 6 months, and it's fine to take a month break. So truly, it's balance. It's all about balance.
It's definitely all about balance. And I think even as entrepreneurs, as things start to take off and the wheel starts to really turn, you're going to feel obviously excited and you want to say yes to absolutely everything until you really look at your schedule and you start to implement time blocking.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can't say yes to everything,
I like
right?
what you just said, AJ. You know, one of my mentors said a profound statement to me. Many times we only think about the value of something from a monetary perspective.
Yeah.
When you start thinking of your time as important as money, you realize that you devote your time to so many things that's not actually worth how much it is when you convert it to a dollar figure.
Absolutely. 1050%. I think that, in fact, I would like to say that times is a currency that we can always earn money back, but we can't really earn time. So if we lose it,
Exactly.
it's gone. It's not kind of, it's gone. So the best thing that we can do is make sure that we're spending our time in the right places, right energies, and right environments that are serving us, that are helping us and helping us grow, whether it's personally or professionally.
Mm.
So you definitely hit the mark there. We talked about time management. I'm a massive fan of it. I use it every day. I have no choice. If I don't, things are just not going to go well. We
Yeah.
have to start, and it's free. Like, that it doesn't cost anything. It just costs you just to implement a little bit of time, of maybe a week of just scheduling. Okay, I got this going on. I got this next week, or whatever the case. I got this month, and just being smart about your time.
Yeah.
So definitely, it's time management. Whew, that's a huge one there. What do you think is not being noticed to business owners, entrepreneurs, and working professionals when it comes towards AI? Because obviously, AI is one of those things where we don't think it could benefit us when it comes towards our self improvement. Well, we some of us are afraid. Let's say, I'll
Mm,
rephrase that. Many of us are
yeah.
afraid to use it. So, what do you think is the missing link to people saying, "Okay, let me embrace this a little bit to help my own personal development and self improvement journey"?
Mm. I love that question. The biggest opportunity I would say that people don't realize about AI is that you make the most out of it based on how you train it. Compared to a
Mm,
lot of technology that has existed,
yeah.
certain technologies has been defined. Like the use case for a technology has been predefined, right? You use this
Right.
for a specific type of use case for a specific type of outcome. But when it comes to
Right.
AI, you can train it to give you
How
that
you
outcome you're
see
expecting.
fit.
So the way how an entrepreneur in the retail industry would train their AI solutions would be
Mhm.
different from the way how an entrepreneur in the real estate industry would train their AI. So
Right.
understanding that would ensure that you maximize the benefits AI can contribute to you as an individual in your personal life, but also to your businesses as an entrepreneur. A very, very classic example is ChatGPT.
Yep.
ChatGPT has revolutionized the way how we search, the way how we summarize things, and I think a lot of people think that ChatGPT is like a very new innovation, but it has always already existed. AI is not that as new as you think it is. Like AI
Yeah.
has existed for
Really not.
30 years now. I think it's just become a buzzword and a trend word. But going back to ChatGPT, depending on the way how I phrase my statements to ChatGPT in the search engine, getting better with my prompting will enable
Yeah.
it to give me a better outcome, a better solution. The more data I feed it, the more relevant
Mhm.
data I feed it, the much more precise the output would be as well. And
Yeah.
that is pretty much what I do in my job as well, right? We create AI solutions to support different stakeholders. The way how
Right.
for the pricing stakeholder be very different from the way how I will support the marketing stakeholder because their objectives at the end of the day, even though it's the same, like they're trying to be more profitable, they're trying to reduce costs, but it's
Mhm.
different. How are they trying to be more profitable? One could be based on having much more personalized offers to customers. How can I use AI to help me be more personalized? Whereas the other team could be, how can I use AI to help me be more precise in my pricing decisions, right? To match
Mhm.
competitors and so on.
Yeah, I agree. I think that AI has been around for a very long time. It just wasn't really accessible to everybody, and now that it is, with platforms like Chat GPT, and even Google has changed the way their search engine is now. They're competing, right? There's so many of
Yeah.
them. So I think that it's such a great tool when it's used properly.
Mm.
One of the ways that I kind of talk to it is like if it's a I'm talking to a human, like a friend, and I say, "Hey, I'm looking for this, blah blah blah. Blah. This is kind of what I have in mind. Da, 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 da,
Yep.
da, da. What would you suggest?" And literally, they reply back to me as if it's a human. It's one of those conversations where it's a back and forth, and if you're right, if the prompts are you can't just type in, okay, this is what I want. It's going to be very vague. But if you
Yep.
get really down to the nitty gritty of what you're looking for out of the search engine of the chat, whatever you're using, whether it's chat or whatever the case is, you will find that it's far more effective for you, whatever you're doing, whether it's your self improvement, whether it's your personal development, whether it's your business. I used it to lose, I think it was at the time, I still kind of use it now, up to 25 pounds in 4 months. And all I did was, this is what I'm trying to do. This is why I'm trying to do it. This is my aim per week of how many I want to lose. And it gave me a meal prep. Like, and it gave me a workout plan and all this
Yep.
extra stuff I need to do. It's really there. Like,
It
where
is.
we just use it. Use it. What are some of the micro habits, or like, let's say habits, it's habits or micro habits, that has helped you build the life that you have right now, doing entrepreneurship and working in economics and women economics, and you're speaking, all of that. What habits have helped you the most?
Mm. Great, great question. I would definitely say having good mentors is one. So being able to connect with your mentors on a regular basis, that's like a quarterly schedule, bi-weekly, and so on. Another one would be going after and chasing opportunities. I'm a
Mhm.
firm believer that it's actually a popular statement. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, it's something like talent is evenly distributed, but opportunities aren't, right? And it's like, just trying to say that there's so many gifted people around the world, but not everybody has the opportunity to be on America's Got Talent, right? Or to be on the Best Chef show and so on, or become the next world soccer player and so on. So I think for me is that if I am positioned in an environment where opportunity presents itself, I will try. And many times I'll try again until the door officially closes. Another aspect I would say would be my faith. I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, and that has grounded me in a lot of my choices and a lot of the way how I discern opportunities, and before I raise up my hand to do something, my involvement before I start something. And also that has given me a lot of like peace and clarity when things don't go as planned as well.
Right.
A huge one I would say is also delayed gratification.
Yep.
Delayed gratification. For some people, they may be wondering, what does that even mean? The long story short is you delay gratifying yourself.
Yeah.
So rather than treating yourself to, let's say, amazing trip every year to different parts of the world, maxing out your credit cards and draining out your savings, how about you just plan local trips for the next 2 years and do a nice one at the end of the 2 years once you have achieved your savings goal or once you have launched that thing. Well, obviously there needs to be a balance, right? Because the other extreme could be you're not treating yourself fairly or well, but continuously holding off of good things for yourself. Like, if you need a new pair of pants, please go and buy that pants, right? I'm talking about more of the things that we kind of, bigger expenses, bigger ways we try to gratify ourselves that can be delayed for a season of life. And once you're able to attain that, it's so rewarding. You feel motivated. You feel refreshed. And that was the mindset I had throughout my university. I was a diligent person, attending classes, doing all my assignments, going all out to getting involved in different student associations. And all of that led me to win more than 2 scholarships. I also got an award when I was graduating. And I was able to graduate with... in our university, they had like a distinction, and then they had great distinction. So kind of like the highest level of distinction. The biggest way I gratified myself was I did a mini trip to different parts of Canada. So I went to PEI, I went to Nova Scotia, and it was really fun. And looking back, I don't regret any of my choices.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I like the fact you touched base on delayed gratification, and I'm a big person on celebrate your wins, big or small. And absolutely, you can still take care of yourself, but you could also have moments of where you just put things in perspective, right? Like you put the things that you need to get done ahead, and that there's nothing wrong with it. You can still take care of yourself, but you could still maintain the same momentum you have going on and continue on the strategy that you created and be intentional about what you're doing. And I agree with you 1000% with just doing the micro trips. Those things are amazing. I've done them many times. It's cheap, and you still get to get out of the setting you're in and do something else. So 1000% agree with you. With your business and you growing it, and also being an immigrant, what advice would you give to other immigrants coming into another country, especially in this climate, to pursue their dreams of whatever business they're in or whatever career they want to pursue?
The first one I would say is, if you don't have entrepreneurship experience from where you were before migrating to Canada or anywhere else you're migrating to, it's important to take a step back to understand your environment. The way how business is done in one part of the world can be very different from another part of the world. And you can't come into that society expecting things to just happen overnight.
Yeah.
That could look different. It could mean that maybe you decide to get a 9-to-5 for like a year and a half or a year or so, just to understand, build connections, build relationships, have a good amount of savings before you actually launch a business. So to summarize, I'll just say, don't rush into starting a business in your first year of just migrating to a new place. Be patient, navigate the area, learn from other people, and maybe focus on building a good savings while working and building connections. The second one I would recommend and encourage immigrants or just people who are starting entrepreneurship for the first time would be to, if you can, join an accelerator program. It's called an accelerator for a reason. It helps accelerate your journey. It can help you skip many steps that a lot of entrepreneurs have to go through that can take them years, but it can take you just months. Find a good one, participate, and fully maximize benefit from that as well. Another good tip I'd say is to be organized. I think one thing a lot of business owners lack is organization. And I understand we're balancing maybe your 9 to 5, you're balancing your personal life, you're balancing a business. Maybe you're trying to launch 3 businesses at the same time. How about you space it out? What if you start one, lay the foundation, and start another one, or maybe wait, because by the time one business matures, all of your customers, all of your connections can help speed up your next one rather than trying to do 2 at the same time, right? So pretty much all of these things will be things that you'll be able to learn in an accelerator program, or having a good mentor that is already familiar with that land or that environment you're trying to launch your business venture in.
You said basically pace. I love that. You were talking about pacing yourself out, having a strategy, but pacing yourself as you go, which I think is a lot of people need to know. Because yeah, you're right. A lot of business owners, first time business owners, entrepreneurs, they step right into it and they want to do like 5 things at once. I was one of them too, and then I had to scale all the way back and say this is not going to work. I'm
Yeah.
becoming more burnt out I can ever imagine. And yes, reach out to accelerator programs, because there's networking and community um, out there. As you said, you and I met on a program. Like, I don't think we would probably ever cross paths in life, and
Yeah.
unless we all in that one space. And within that one space, I gained a lot of relationships and connections with people that I can take going forward. So yeah, I 1000% agree with you on that. I'm just going to ask you one last question. I ask everyone this question.
Sure.
What makes you feel the most dope?
Being healthy, you know,
Mm,
there's some days when you maybe wake up feeling tired, or just having a cold, or having a sore throat. Your favorite
yeah.
food, you can't even enjoy your favorite food. I think just feeling healthy, being alive, is one of the greatest feeling that I am appreciating, and I'm so grateful about as well. So that'll be one of the moments I feel dopest.
That's awesome. Yeah, no doubt. Feeling healthy physically, mentally, you strive better, right? You
Yeah.
succeed a whole lot better. Tell the people where they can find you also, like where they can find Woman Economics, like give them your socials. I'm going to put it in the description, but like go ahead and you can let them
Yes,
know.
yes. So as AJ already mentioned, I do a bunch of things. So follow me on Instagram at Adewunmi Ajike, ADEWUNMI AJIKE. I post a lot about some of my speaking engagements. I normally speak around AI, leadership, personal development. And then my nonprofit is called WOM Economics, WOM Economics. And we are a nonprofit that is created to support and help the career development and advancement of women of diverse backgrounds, focusing on economics, finance, and similar degrees, but also we support anyone with like-minded fields as well. And then on the side, I also host events. I actually have a Galentine event coming up next weekend. So if you
Ooh,
want to attend events where you're able to meet people, foster communities, you can follow my other Instagram handle called Beraka Inspires. Beraka means blessing in Hebrew, and that's my middle name, so that's where it comes from. So that would be BERAKAH Inspires on Instagram.
awesome. I'll put all that information in the description so you guys can go ahead and follow Adewunmi and all the great things that she's doing. I want to say thank you again for taking the time out to hopping on the podcast and blessing us with the information you have. And I hope that those who are getting into entrepreneurship or migrating over to another country have some gems from this episode that you can now apply. And if you need or have any questions, by all means, go check out Adewunmi. She's an amazing person. She'll help you out. But I just want to say thank you all for tuning in for another Dope Life podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and comment below. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. I will see you next week. And as always, y'all, you know what to do. Walk with peace and walk with love.